I wouldn't say that. It's just, you know, I'm very blessed to be playing basketball again. You know, I took a long, you know, time off with my ACL injury, and you know, I think I took basketball for granted up to a certain point, being able to go out there every night and do what I love to do. So, you know, I don't know if I was able to show it this much here as a Celtic, but now, you know, I say I'm still just very humbled and blessed to be playing basketball, something I love to do every night. So, you know, I don't take it for granted, and that's just how I play the game now.
Part 2 of the Garden Report, we're going to talk about Rajon Rondo because we want to surprise you here on the show. So we talked kind of in generalities. Rondo? No, doesn't ring a bell. We talked in generalities
shooter that we just watched
in the first point, in the first part. Now we're going to talk about very specifically that first quarter where he had the 15 points. He was phenomenal in that first quarter. He went 6 for 6, hit the 3-pointers. Jimmy, what did you see out of Rondo in that first quarter that was so remarkable?
You just said it. I mean, what stood out to me is just how quickly he took over this game. Yeah. I mean, I don't expect him. I don't think any of us really expect him to offensively take over a game. Obviously, why would we? But for him to just come out the way he did and just get those points right off the bat, like the layups, and then when the first 3-pointer goes in, okay, we've seen him, and then he hits the second one, and it's like, okay, and then he hits the last one at the end of the quarter, and from the corner, you're just like, oh my goodness, like the fans at that point were just like, what's going on here? Like, is this going to be known as like the Rajon Rondo comeback game return story? But it kind of was actually. But I mean, 15 points in the first quarter. I mean, couldn't keep that up. He wasn't going for 60 tonight, but career high 15 points. I mean, you can't ask for a better return than really for him. I don't think he could have.
And Julian, we were talking about it off camera. That first layup, he up fakes Tyler Zeller. And then Zeller just like kind of walks, just lets him waltz right by him.
Goes right in there.
It was amazing how easy it was.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Non-contact drill.
Starts the game with an easy layup, gets his confidence going, and then it's just three, and you're just kind of like, whoa, who is this guy? Mm-hmm. And he just kind of kept the snowball rolling from there, and he was confident. He took his shots, and you know, he obviously planned this. Yeah. I mean. He had so many games in Boston where he takes 2, 3, 4 shots. He took 4 shots in the first 2-3 minutes of the game tonight. So, you know, credit to him, though. He didn't come out and brick them. He came out and made them and put on a show. But that first quarter was just one after another, 6 for 6.
Here's my problem with the Celtics tonight. Rajon Rondo takes 19 shots. How many times did he get fouled taking a shot?
Well, 0 free throws.
0 free throws. If you're anyone on the Celtics, you have a front row seat to how bad Rondo is at shooting free throws. Mm-hmm. If you're Brad Stevens, you see it every single day. If you're Tyler Zeller, letting him waltz in for a layup, or Kelly Olynyk, why don't you put a hand on his arm and make him earn it at the free throw line? The guy is shooting 30% from the free throw line this year, and he's taken 19 shots. He doesn't go to the line once? Is that not in the game plan? That's not in the whiteboard?
Actually,
make him earn it?
According to Rick Carlisle, he now shoots 75% because they started keeping track yesterday.
Oh, that's the numbers that Celtics must have gotten before the game, is a 75% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
This guy's deadly, yeah.
I just think it's ridiculous when he's finally hitting some shots from the outside. Why don't you make him earn it? Put him on his butt. Knock him down. Make him get heckled at the free throw line from everyone who sees him miss free throws all the time. You've been suffering with this guy from the free throw line for 8 seasons. Now you can actually benefit from it from the first time in his career. The Celtics can benefit from an awful free throw shooter, and he takes 0.
It's going back to that play we were talking about. Why not set the tone early with that? Why not, instead of, I mean, obviously Tyler Zeller did not purposely let him go by, although who knows, it kind of looked like he did, but I mean.
Kelly Olynyk may have in the fourth quarter.
Sure, but like foul the guy, make him go to the line. You know that's his weakness. You know that's why he doesn't drive on you. So how could you let him up fake you out of a layup? And even if he does, keep going and just foul him from behind. Because the way that those guys let Rondo get by them, it's like he's already by us. We're not going to try to block the shot because we're probably going to foul him. Yeah, that's what you want. When it's Rondo, you want to send him to the line.
Even if he hits the shot, there's a good chance he's going to miss the free throw anyways. Make him think twice about going.
Should we just call conspiracy theory? This was a Rajon Rondo layup line put on by the Boston Celtics.
I just think if you're the Celtics, that's got to be one of the first things going through your mind if he starts to get a little hot, especially because of tonight he was.
Maybe, right. Maybe on a night where he's 12 for 19, he goes to the line and he shoots, 7 for 8. But you don't know if you let him go 0 for 0.
You don't know. And he's not going to go 12 for 19 if you hacked him a few of those times, and that won't count as a shot.
And it kind of begs the question: why
thinking.
why didn't they go to the Hacker Rondo strategy? That would have been fun to watch.
I thought maybe,
and I feel like it could have been effective before the league kind of exploded to a 28-point lead.
Right, it was a 28-point lead going into the fourth quarter. I was like, well, now it's not going to happen.
No.
And our good friend Kevin O'Connor, who's been on the show before, he was really pro Hacker Rondo, and I was kind of hoping that we would get to see Stevens have to make a decision on whether he's going to do it. Well, the Celtics did get it to 10 points. They did get it to 10 points, and it wasn't Hacker Rondo, but it was Rondo who hit the shot to end the Celtics run and quiet the fans.
Yep.
So it was basically the polar opposite of what you wanted to see happen. Rondo got the ball in his hands. They couldn't foul, or I don't know if they were supposed to or if they had time to or whatever it was. Rondo hit the shot. Not Dirk, not Ellis. It was Rondo. He didn't get fouled. He didn't have to go to the line. There was no Hacker Rondo. There was only Super Rondo tonight.
I'm sure. I mean, Stevens is kind of a guy that kind of goes on his gut with things, and kind of like how he rode the bench out that
He's
game
a numbers
in
guy
DC.
too, though.
He is a numbers guy. I think he's a little more of a feel guy than a numbers guy than people think. That's just my opinion. I just think the way it was going for Rondo, it would be a little much to ask him to be like, all right, this guy's been kind of on fire all night. Let's start fouling him. But
Give it a
I mean,
shot,
it's not a
he
bad
goes
idea.
2 for 2,
I mean,
forget it. He goes 0 for 2.
Stevens plenty of times has seen Rondo miss huge free throws for him.
Yeah.
So, that's got to be in his head. I'm not saying it's the wrong decision, just you can see where that's kind of pulling at him in real time, at least.
Now, how amazing was it that, of all people on this Dallas squad, where there's all these kind of deadly game-breaking shooters, that Rondo was the one that was kind of the game-breaking shooter there, Jimmy. He was the one that the Celtics were making that furious run, and he said, forget about it.
That's what really stood out.
He said that. Don't laugh.
He
said, forget about it. We all heard that.
I'm not sure he said that at all, to be honest. But to answer your question, I think it goes to show how quickly he's just gotten acclimated to this team, and these guys trust him to take that shot. I don't think Dirk or Monte or anyone was holding their breath when he took it. I mean, especially with the way he was shooting. He came out there, and he, like I said, when you drop 15 points in the first quarter, you pretty much have a free ticket to shoot the ball whenever the heck you want the rest of the game, because you're obviously feeling something out there, and no one's going to stop you from shooting the ball like that. And listen, I mean, no one on that Mavericks team has shot in this court more than Rondo has. So he's got the visuals down pat. He knows the angles. He knows where to look and everything like that. I thought it was a good choice, good guy to shoot the ball in that situation.
He's a good guy to shoot the ball in any situation tonight, it seemed like.
Shout out to Dwight Powell. Dwight Powell played 1 minute and 21 seconds.
You gotta give him his due, because the poor guy, he didn't have enough on-court time to earn a tribute. I think he probably would have got one if they could find enough game footage.
Well, they did have that second mic next to Rondo tonight. Dwight Powell was supposed to talk as well, but he was busy with all these other interviews. He didn't even have the time to get up there with Rondo and do that interview.
I think if Dwight, I don't know off the top of my head the Mavericks D-League affiliate, I should, but I don't. But if he ever ends up in Maine again, I think we're going to get a Maine Red Claws Dwight Powell tribute. Maybe the first one of its time.
Well, actually, I think Dwight's first game after the trade was actually visiting the Maine Red Claws, so we'll have to confirm whether or not they got the tribute video.
Oh, really?
It was probably
this has already happened, Jimmy.
This
Come
has
on.
already happened?
Yeah. Jimmy, the D-League's going on without you. You're going to have to catch up.
It was in Maine?
It was in Maine. I think it was pretty sure it was in Maine. And I think there was someone doing an interpretive dance in the corner yelling Dwight Powell's name. So pretty much the same thing.
Well,
so before this show starts losing steam, let's go to the box and balls part of the show. So I'll just start with my number. It is 5 for 7. That's Rondo's three-point shooting. I see I lost the cap to my pen. Jimmy, your stat of the night.
Mine's 15. I already talked about how hot he was in the first quarter. He scored 15 points, career high. That's it. Set the tone.
My ball of the night is Dwight Powell's numbers here. No, Rondo was awesome. Jimmy already touched on it a little bit, but the 0 free throws were huge.
Sure.
It shows two things. It shows, number one, that the Celtics defense can be very soft because they did not put him on the line. They had chances to. They should have at least tried it earlier rather than later. I don't know if Stevens should have done the Hacker Rondo later in the game, but that first drive of the game put Rondo on the line. Maybe he misses those first 2 free throws, and that changes his whole night when those first 2 don't go in. You don't know until you do it. That's the first thing it says. The second thing it says is that Rondo still might be afraid of getting to the line. He, even against the Celtics that obviously weren't playing very tough defense, I'm sure he could have, taken a ball to the rim and found his way to the line at least once if he wanted to.
Yeah.
The free throw line, despite going 5 of 7 from 3, is still a place that he wants to avoid.
All All right, so to end the show, let's say a baller of the night on the count of 3. So 3, 2, 1.
Raymond
gone.
Felton.
Foul.
There we go. All right, that's it for the show. Rajon Rondo's a baller of the night. I want to thank everybody for watching this show. I want to thank Rajon Rondo for 9.5 great years in Boston, or some crazy years in there. But we had so much fun watching this guy play. I mean, we had a lot of fun talking to him.
It was fun watching him play tonight.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun talking to him, a lot of fun him not talking to us, really, or trying to mess with us. But I don't think there was ever a single press conference where I was annoyed with Rondo. I always enjoyed it. I always thought it was fun. Maybe because I didn't have to write 100 words or 1,000 words right away on what he said.
I mean, there are a lot. I mean, waiting for him isn't always the most fun.
And we
part.
have to wait tonight too.
But sometimes you wait for him because you hope and you kind of have an idea that it might be worth it, as opposed to waiting 2 minutes for a guy who's going to tell you 10 words and you're not going to use any of it. So what's the point?
I didn't know we were talking about Kelly Olynyk tonight. So before we go here, we want to remind you to like the Garden Report on Facebook. Listen to us on iTunes, CLNS Radio, postgame show, Celtics Beat, all on iTunes. So subscribe to those podcasts and to sign up for the Fall of the Boston Celtics book by Larry H. Russell on CLNS Radio. So for Julian, for Jimmy, I'm Jared, the 3 J's signing off. Peace out. Rajon Rondo return.